Anywho, I was like here laying down. I'm like, I should tell the story of my first time being scammed. I was like, shit. Bear in mind, this was like 2 months after I moved here, not knowing. And I've heard about people being scammed, but I was like, oh, it's just like normal calls with people telling you that you have won money and you need to claim it by doing this and that, this and that. I did not know that there's like so many ways for people to try and scam you guys. I'm gonna try and play the message you left on my voicemail. Then I'll explain the story. Come on, Nizzle guys. I'll explain the story behind it. Let me see if it's gonna happen.
Himalaya, this is Daniel calling from Justin Brown Law Firm with reference to the lawsuit filed against your name under your social security. We're calling you to confirm your mailing address and collect your lawyer information to send the court paper, but you simply hung up on me. Okay. Anyhow, you will be contacted by the local authority, by the Newcastle City Police Department, which is located at First Municipal Boulevard, Newcastle, Delaware, zip code of 19720. Two police officers are going to reach you at your mailing address as listed in plan. You just sign it and collect the case paper with your termination letter. If you prove that you never did anything, you can say aside. If you fail to prove this, you may be picked up for the charges. Your social permanently blacklisted. Hereafter, in your entire lifetime, you can't get any kind of financial support from your government. Finally, you have to pay a penalty around $4,000 to $5,000. Emalia, just mark my words. You're going to face some serious legal consequences. But in the meantime, if you only hung up on me, if you need some more information, if you have a good intention, give a call back to the same number, 914-662-9072. I repeat the number, 914-662-9072. Goodbye.
Sorry, I was playing it from my from the music, so the song came on. I'm sorry. But I ain't got no type. I don't care. Guess it's an old song, but I love that old song. Anyway, I got the call. First of all, I was on the phone with my mother. I was like, who the hell is calling me? Who is being so rude? And I'm like, I look on the number. I'm like, I don't know this number. So I rejected the call. Who wouldn't? Hello, I don't know the number. Now I was on the phone. I was talking to my mother. I was like, yeah, mommy, yeah. You don't need to know what I was telling my mommy. It wasn't anything interesting, chill. So I hung up. And then I went and I saw that they left a voicemail. And then lo and behold, that was a voicemail the people them sent on my phone. I'm not gonna I don't want to go straight in talking patois because more everybody feel like understand what me I try to say. So bear with me. I called them and I was like panicking. I was like, hello. I got a voicemail from this number saying that I'm gonna be charged with blah 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 blah. And then the man is like, oh, well, you hung up the phone on me, and you're gonna have major consequences because of what you did, and I'm gonna make sure you regret your actions. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this man is true. I'm in big trouble. I'm gonna go to jail. I'm like to myself, I'm like, I need to make an excuse up. I'm like, no, I didn't mean to hang the phone up. I was on the other call. I didn't mean to hang the phone up. I was gonna call you guys back right after, which I did. It was that much of a lie. Then he was like, okay, is this your email address? I'm like, yes, that is my email address. Then he told me my address. I'm like, yes, that is my address. I always say my address now, but it doesn't matter because I don't live there anymore. But he was like, is this your address? I'm like, how does these people know my address and my email address and stuff? Know my age and all. So I was like, this is legit then. Then I was like, he was like, you borrowed some money from, he called a person you borrowed some money from this person and they're filing a lawsuit against you. and he was telling me about 3 charges that I had on my name, and that they're gonna send a paper to my address for me to sign to go to court. I'm like, I did not borrow any money from anybody. I'm like, there, almost, I was gonna cry because I'm like, am I gonna go to jail for something I did not do? I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my lord, I came to America to be lied on, and I'm gonna get arrested. I'm like trying to talk to this man, and this man keeps telling me like he's there like, oh, he's there like, it doesn't matter what you say now because it shows on our system that you did borrow the money and we have evidence. So I'm getting upset. I'm like, well, we're making tampon the system because I never borrowed nothing from nobody. I was getting pissed and I hung the phone up. Then he sent me another voicemail saying, oh, you're going to regret this, blah. I'm like, I was worried. Although I was being salty, I was worried. So my grandma had called me. I was coming from tutoring at what's that school? Southern Technical, because I was trying to get in their nursing program at the time. I was talking to my grandma and she's like, what's wrong with you? She was at Jamaica. I was like, I'm so stressed out. My head is hurting. I'm just having a bad day. This is not my day. And I explained to her what happened. And she's like, that doesn't sound like legit. That sounds like a scammer trying to get something from you and somebody messing with you. So I'm like, yeah, but then again, he had my address, he had my email address. I'm like, they're being like crazy. I know. I'm like trying to convince my grandmother that, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to jail. Then she's like, call your daddy and tell your daddy. Bear in mind, my father had just left Tampa, like 2 hours, not even 2 hours, and for me to call him, I was like, oh my gosh, daddy, you cannot believe what just happened. I was like freaking out. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, I don't know what for do. Then he was like, calm down, tell me what happened. I'm like, daddy, somebody called me and tell me that I have three charges on my name, and they're gonna send this court letter to my address and blah blah blah. He was like, did you give them your new address? I'm like, no, I didn't give them anything, because I was like, if they're such official person, they should know everything. I shouldn't have to tell them anything. So I'm like, yeah. Then I say, you know what, daddy, I'll send you the voice message that the person left on my phone. I sent my daddy the voice message. I was there sitting down. My belly was hurting me. I was having a headache. I wasn't eating anything until my father texted me back. I was like, damn. I was like panicking. I'm like thinking about my life. I'm like, I'm only 18 years old and this is how my life is just gonna go down the drain. Then my daddy had called me and he's like, oh, I called the person. They're a scammer. They're definitely a scammer, because I was talking to them. And then the guy had started giving me an attitude. So I was like, oh, then he was telling them off basically. And then the person like cracked their cover. So I'm like, so daddy, I'm like, oh my gosh, people just do this? Is this like a thing to do? He was like, yeah, welcome to the United States. These stuff happen. I'm like, shit, nah. I'm telling you. Then he was like, just remember, never, don't give anybody your SSN and don't give anybody your address here, because they can use it against you and it can damage your credit score. I don't know what. I didn't know what was his credit score at the time, because I don't know none of that. I was just like new here, never know anything. I was interrupted a while ago, so I don't know where I left my story at. So basically, that's my experience of being scammed for the first time. I was super scared, and I do not like it. Because of that, I didn't pay my phone bill for a month, because I'm like, oh my gosh, these people are gonna target the shit out of me. They'll be like, oh, we got a new person that we can get. I'm like, she's a scaredy cat. We can get anything from her. I'm like, Lord, I don't need a phone. I just need WhatsApp and Facebook and Snapchat. That's it. I was so scared. Anyways, that's the end of my story. That's the first story I ever told here. I don't know. It's I don't like talking about it even now, because I'm like, how am I supposed to be like that stupid to not figure out that that wasn't real? I'm like, anyways, bye YouTube. Hope y'all don't get scammed in life. I nobody tried to scam me like they did me. It's me.